Have you ever heard of Sir Francis Bacon? Sir Francis Bacon was an English philosopher and scientist who lived in the late 16th century. Interestingly, he is said to have played a significant role in the translation and publication of the King James Bible, which was first published in 1611. But Sir Francis Bacon's influence on the Bible goes beyond translation. He is also credited with introducing feudalistic ideas into the Bible, which still shape our society today. These ideas include hierarchies and social classes that still exist in many parts of the world. So let's explore this fascinating story of Sir Francis Bacon together. In 1603, a conference was held at Hampton Court Palace between Episcopalians and Puritans. John Raynaud, a Puritan scholar, urged King James to create a more uniform translation of the Bible for his Puritan congregation, and King James agreed. And in 1604, he commissioned 54 scholars from universities, dividing them into 6 bands of 9, with each band assigned a specific translation. Unfortunately, only 47 of those scholars' names are known today. The groups were required to compare their translations with each other as soon as the group finished their assigned translation. They would then notate their disagreements and the reasons why they had them. Then a group of arbitrators consisting of one representative from each group would discuss their conflicts every week. If a conflict could not be agreed upon, then the arbitrators would send their letters to educated men worldwide asking for their input. After completing their work, they each made a copy for Oxford, Cambridge, and Westminster, and then they sent it all to London. 2 men were selected from each group to review the work and unify it into one book, and this process took an additional 9 months. Finally, Dr. Thomas Bilson and Dr. Miles Smith were entrusted with the final revision. And in 1609, their labor was completed and the result was handed to King James. After completing their work, the scholars' manuscripts were handed over to King James. However, modern day scholars have noted that King James was not known for his skill in language, and they note that he was incapable of producing anything as beautiful as the language in the Bible. So, what happened to the scholar's work while it was in the hands of King James? Well, it's said that King James entrusted the manuscript to a writer during that period who was capable of capturing the unique Shakespearean style and charm that is present in the Bible. The writer then made significant alterations to its translation. And here's where it gets really interesting. Many believe that King James handed the scholar's work over to none other than Sir Francis Bacon himself. Due to the homogeny, the breadth, and vigor of the language in the King James Bible, it is widely thought that Sir Francis was the influence and author behind its creation. Now, this in turn has had a significant impact on today's society, from the concepts of hierarchies and social classes that we mentioned earlier, to the language and beauty of the Bible itself. So it's safe to say that Sir Francis Bacon's legacy just may be living on. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Some people also believe that Sir Francis Bacon was not only the driving force behind the King James Bible, but he was also the real William Shakespeare. There are some scholars who believe that Bacon used a pseudonym when writing plays, and that Shakespeare was just a front for his work. Now, to add to this theory, some scholars point to the unique way that Shakespeare would sign his literary work with a light capital A and a dark capital A. And guess what? That same design can be found on the title page of the genealogies, which was printed around the same time as some of Shakespeare's works. Another concept that makes scholars believe that Bacon was the final author of the King James Bible is the fact that he was also responsible for reviving the Masonic order. It's believed that he encoded secret information into both the Old and New Testament. In fact, an ancient document recorded that the true history of early Christianity was known only to the initiates of the Order of the Knights Templar. Some scholars believe that Bacon's encoded messages extend beyond the King James Bible. For example, the design on the US dollar bill is said to contain several symbols that Bacon used in his writings, such as the pyramid or the all-seeing eye. The dollar bill contains the Latin phrase Novus Order Seclorum, which means new order of the ages, another concept associated with Bacon's philosophy. So, was Sir Francis Bacon the true author of the King James Bible? Or did he have a secret agenda to promote his own beliefs and ideas? Or are these just wild theories and coincidences? Have you ever noticed that in the 46th Psalm of the King James Bible, the 46th word from the beginning is shake, and the 46th word from the end is spear? It's said that this is not a coincidence, but rather a deliberate message arranged by Sir Francis Bacon, according to some scholars. It's believed to be one of his secret messages for initiates. Now, to add to the mystery, one seeker compared the wording in the King James Bible to an earlier version in the Breeches Bible, also known as the Geneva Bible. In the Breeches Bible, the first 47 words up to the word shake and the last 44 words from spear to the end of the psalm were each altered to 46 in both cases in the King James Version, which means that there are now 3 instances of 46 in the psalm. Interestingly, it was recorded that 47 divines were entrusted by King James with the translation work. But some scholars believe that Bacon, who was likely in charge of the project, should be counted as one of them. If that is the case, then there were actually 46 divines entrusted with the translation work, with Bacon as the final editor. Sir Francis Bacon's influence on literature and society continues to be felt even centuries after his death. But what happened to Sir Francis Bacon after he revived the Masonic order, edited the final version of the King James Bible, and penned the name William Shakespeare? Sir Francis Bacon, the English philosopher, statesman, and essayist, was accused of taking bribes from 2 individuals, Robert Markham and Sir Nicholas Throckmorton. In 1621, Bacon was impeached by the House of Commons for corruption and abuse of power, including accepting bribes from Markham and Throckmorton. The charges against him also included other offenses, like using his position as Lord Chancellor for personal gain, taking advantage of his official position to influence court decisions, and making illegal loans. Bacon admitted to the charges and was originally fined $40,000 and imprisoned in the Tower of London, and he was stripped of his position as Lord Chancellor. Now, although he was later released from prison and pardoned by King James I, his reputation was permanently tarnished by that scandal. One of the quotes Sir Francis Bacon is famously known for is "knowledge is power." This phrase is often used to emphasize the importance of education and learning and achieving success and influence in society. Sir Francis Bacon is believed to have written "Knowledge is Power" in his book Meditationes Sacrae, Sacred Meditations, which was published in 1597. However, the exact phrase doesn't quite show up in that original form. The closest Bacon comes to this phrase is in his work The Elements of Law, Natural, and Politics, where he writes "Ipsa scientia protestus est," which translates to "knowledge itself is power." And the quote has since been attributed to Bacon and has become one of his most famous and enduring phrases. The more you know. What do you think? Was this all just a coincidence, or was Bacon trying to convey a secret message? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this.